Hey everyone! Thank you for taking the time to join in with Uncommon Women Podcast, a dope podcast to bring light to reality from real life people sharing real life stories with a host of women having real life talk, the good and the bad, with no judgment. Uncommon Women's Loyalty is here to support those that need a safe space to speak their truth and rawness to the world. Tune in, relax, take notes, and let's vibe. Here are your hosts, Uncommon Women.
Good evening, everyone, and we're Uncommon Women. I am Jenny Lee.
I am Tyra, also known as the Gold Guru.
And this evening we have an amazing guest speaker. Her name is Cori Fonville Foster, is a mother, wife, and homeschool teacher and the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions. Cori has overcome many struggles being legally blind, and even through her struggle, it has not stopped her from her passion in helping others live life on their terms.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Hi, Cori.
Hi, Cori. Welcome, Cori.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
It is an honor to have you on our platform. So, Cori, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, hi again. I'm Cori Fonville Foster. And like my bio said, I wear many hats. I am a mom, but I also homeschool my 11-year-old kiddo along with one of my cousins who is 15. And in my free time, I also run a small business marketing firm that services small business owners from coast to coast. And I always tell people I got into business very non-traditionally. So my aim is to support others who are also trying to monetize their passion in a very non-traditional sense.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Other than that, like, you seem like you're, despite, that you can't really see, you do so much. That is amazing. And I applaud you for that, for still continuing to just help others, even when, helping others, through your own struggle as it is. So, Cori, can you tell us about how was your childhood growing up?
What molded you into this woman?
Yeah, definitely. So, I had an interesting upbringing. Me and my mom have differing opinions on how it went down, but I think we both can agree. Yeah, I think we both can agree. I was a very independent child. I knew what I wanted and I went after it. My grandmother actually raised me from the age of 3 to 7. My mom went into the military. And back in the day, you couldn't bring your kids with you. So she made that tough choice to go into the military, make a better life for us, while my grandmother stayed and raised me. When I was about 7 or so, she actually came back and I was able to travel all around the world, which I think contributes to my outlook on possibilities, because I got to go to different parts of the country. I got to go to Hawaii for a little bit. I went over to Europe for a few years and got to travel there. And I think, like I said, it really changed my outlook. It wasn't until high school, because I know you mentioned a little bit about me being legally blind in my intro. It wasn't actually until high school that I was diagnosed with a rare eye condition called uveitis. Before that, I saw 20/20, perfect vision, no glasses. But yeah, we had never heard of uveitis, and it was like, here this new thing is, this new challenge to overcome. But it definitely was, and I don't know how deep we'll go into this talk tonight, but it definitely kind of was almost like a bomb thrown into my life, because it was unexpected and we didn't have a lot of information about it. So we didn't know how it was going to impact my life. And it definitely has over the years, really kind of put a lot of challenges and obstacles in my way. But hey, I'm still here. I was able to overcome them. But yeah, there were definitely a lot of challenges in those times and even now.
Oh, okay. When you first found out that you were going to be blind, how did that make you feel? What were you going through at that moment?
It's hard. I've tried to go back to that moment a lot in my mind, because it almost was like an out of body experience. you know, if you're an adult, you've probably had lots of appointments with different doctors, and some have really great bedside manner, and some of them do not. And I think when I got my initial diagnosis, and when I got my more recent diagnosis, when they said like, "Hey, your vision's really going," they were both kind of, hey, they were very matter of fact. They were not trying to be nice to me. They were not trying to break it to me gently. It was pretty harsh when I was in high school. I remember the doctor just being like, "Hey, this is a condition," but he said it in such a way that I wasn't really concerned, because he was like, "Oh yeah, you got this thing. You got blurry vision. You're gonna have to take some drops." And it was only actually in my left eye when it started. And they were like, "Oh, it'll never go over to your right eye. So, we'll give you some drops. It'll be fine." And it wasn't until I went to college. Well, actually, before I went to college, I ended up with surgery because I had a little flare, and they had to do cataract surgery, which is like a cataract surgery for a high schooler. I should have known something was, crazy then. But when I went to college, I was living my life as a college student. I was out here partying, doing my thing.
Wow.
And, look, we cut up sometimes. I didn't change a little bit. I've changed a little bit since then. But in college, I was partying, and I was like not really paying attention to my health. And when I got back, I don't remember what happened exactly, but I remember closing one eye and realizing I could not see out of my left eye. Come to find out, my optic nerve in my left eye was completely crushed. I am completely blind in my left eye. There's literally nothing they could do about it. And I was like, oh, this condition is serious. Like, what in the world? Yeah. And it was crazy because I don't remember ever thinking it was even a possibility. I think when I was younger, I just kind of was like a free spirit to the thought of like, well, if it's really something serious, they would tell me, they would warn me. But they didn't. They didn't. Yeah. And it was really, it was one of those hard lessons I kind of had to learn of like, you need to ask more questions. You need to pay attention. You need
be your
to,
own advocate.
Yeah, exactly. Be my own advocate. And then fast forward a few years, because this has been a long, long journey, but fast forward a few years, they lied. It went over to the right eye. Let's just call it what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. Yeah. And I was a grown-up by then. So I had a son by then. I was working in the medical field. I was 3 credits away from having my registered nursing degree. And I started realizing I couldn't see well, and went back to another doctor. And I remember her just sitting there looking me in the face, and she was like, "Cori, you're going to go blind. I suggest you quit your job, and I suggest you go and apply for disability." And I remember she said it just like that. I was like, "Excuse me?"
That's like that. Wow. Like,
yeah,
like just because you have a disability, like she just made it seem like it's going to stop you from any type of career or life period. Goals. Yeah.
Was this something that your friends and coworkers knew that you were dealing with?
Some of my close family and coworkers knew that I had a condition, but like I said, after I went blind in my left eye, I still had 20/20 in my right, which is, great vision. I had already gotten an associate's degree. I had already been working full time. I was helping doctors with procedures. I was doing patient advocacy for others. Out here living my life, full adult in the world, being a great citizen. And so, yeah, they didn't realize that was kind of coming around the bend. I didn't realize because I never knew it could even go to my other eye. I thought I was just done with this condition. I wasn't even on drops at that time. But yeah, they basically said, "Hey, there's nothing we can do." And I wish that I could say, "Oh, I told that lady, like, no, you're wrong," but I didn't. Yeah. I went home, I quit my job, and I just kind of went into depression and despair. I literally, like, my life was getting darker physically and mentally because I was so like, there's nothing I can do. This is happening to me. So yeah, it wasn't a good time.
Yeah. How'd you overcome feeling overwhelmed and discouraged at that time?
I don't know about other people, but when I was younger, I always felt like I was going to be special. I don't know. Maybe it was a little narcissist thinking at the time.
No, you were called. Nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah, but I did. I was like, I'm going to be something special. I'm going to be this thing, And I remember once they told me like I was going to go blind, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to be average now. Like, I guess it wasn't even like I thought I was going to be less than. I was like, I guess I'm going to be average because there's not much I can do. And like I said, I got into that space of just sadness. And then one day I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I have an amazing brain. I have a gift for helping people. I've always been helping people my whole life. Like, why would God give me this gift for me to just sit here and do nothing? Like, it doesn't make sense. And so literally I felt like I had hit rock bottom and there was literally no place else to go but up. Like, I gotta be able to do something. Like, this can't, there's no reason why I can't do something. And so my mom had like a like a side little hobby business where she would go vending. And so I said, well, what can I do? And I realized that I could make like little handmade soaps and salves and like body butters, things that I could just have. And I had my mom drive me to vending events, and I couldn't even really count the money, y'all. Like, I could not see, I could not drive myself, but I would stand up there and I would just talk to the people and I would tell them, what ingredients and how this would help them. And I got a ball out of doing that. And I'm just a very observant person. I'm a chatty person. So while I was there, I would go to the different booths and ask people their story and be like, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? Why did you get in business? And I really started hearing that these people had these like amazing stories and these amazing products. And I was like, well, why aren't they like marketing, all over the country selling this stuff and not just at these little vending events? And I literally said, you know what? That's what I can do. I can start a business to help small business owners market and get their stuff all over the world. And that's kind of how iRock Marketable Business Solutions started. And it's like helping the little guys like I was. And now we help entrepreneurs all over the country. And I'm still considered legally blind, but luckily I found some amazing doctors who have stood by me, supported me, bet on me, been willing to risk things to try to give me my vision. And look, shout out, I didn't even know this was going to happen, but I went to the eye doctor today and I had a vision test and they were like, yo, your right eye see in 2020. I was like, hey.
Well, congratulations.
That is amazing. Congratulations. That is definitely something I believe, the Lord is so good when he does things like that for us in our lives, and how he just swooped in there and was like giving your vision back. Oh my God. That's amazing.
It was nice to hear because I had to have emergency surgery in December and literally I was completely blind for about a month and a half. Like, I was struggling. I couldn't really work. I had a great team of people. It was tough. I literally just listened to audiobooks because I don't live as a completely blind person all the time because I have such a rare condition. Like, I can't do Braille. I'm not good walking with a cane. And so I was just sitting there trying to heal, and they didn't know how much more vision I was going to get back. Like I said, the left eye is completely gone. But I went back today. It's been a couple of months, and I had to get a vision test. Like, the DMV was like, "Are you going to be able to drive?" And I was like, I told everybody, I said, "I'm gonna speak it into existence. I'm gonna do the best I've ever done on this test." They were double, triple checking. Like, what? Can you see these letters? I was like, NPO.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, I guess I was going to ask you if you had anything or any advice for anyone in your situation, but number one, it clearly does get better, or it is possible. But is there anything else you would say to them?
I would say to anybody, whether you have a condition or not in your life, you need to believe in yourself, because I think once I kind of had my own back, I was able to better advocate for myself. And granted, yes, I had people around me also telling me like, you can do this and, it's going to get better. But I had to realize, like, if I want it better for myself, that was the first step. Because the part I didn't say about my journey is I had to fire all of my doctors, all those people who said, we're not going to do surgery. We can't help you. You're just going to be blind. Like, I had to say, y'all can't be in my life. Like, you got to go. And I did. I fired them all and I went and did my own research. I found doctors, and I was not going to accept anything less than, we're going to support you. We're going to try. We're going to do these things. And no matter what you're doing in your life, you need people that are going to say, we got your back. We will be with you thick and thin. And like I said, advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself.
And I think, and then I totally agree with that. When you love yourself, especially, and you want what's best for you, and in like your situation or anyone's situation, you should always fight for yourself. And that's very important because that shows the love that you have for yourself, because no one deserves anything less. Absolutely. So especially, even if any kind of special needs or any familiar situation, and you have to fight for yourself. And I think that's very important. Not a lot of people understand that, some people don't know how to advocate for themselves. And that is so amazing how, how I love how you're advocating for yourself, but then you're helping others as it is to be able to, you're showing people now coming on here and speaking about it to fight for themselves, to advocate for themselves, because that is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Your worth, unfortunately, but it works. And they got you and look at you, you're a business owner, you're a wife, you're a mom, you take care of people. Like your illness doesn't define you because you love yourself so much, and it shows. And I want to talk more about that business. Speaking of, how was that going into that? Because I know that's scary. And
yeah,
I mean, I know your mom was kind of her own hustler, but where'd you learn this stuff?
Again, I've had to think about it because I've been on several podcasts. I'm also in the midst of like writing a book, and I'm like, where did this come from? And we got to do it. We got to do it. We have generational wealth building over here. Yes. But I asked my mom, like, where can you help me pinpoint this? And she was like, you were just a kid that just would not take no for an answer. And I think that and it's funny because I have a kid now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I see why my mom was annoyed back then. But I know those qualities are going to make him amazing, because I'm like, yeah, those qualities really helped me get through a lot of tough times, because I wasn't someone who would take no. Because even when I started my business, the one I have now, like, I didn't really have any skills. I did a lot of research. I didn't have a degree in the area. I didn't have connections. I didn't have money to really invest in my business, but I just had that like go-getter tenacity to be like, I'm going to do this. I remember I started off by just DMing people on Facebook that were in my community. And I was like, hey, I said, I was going to be a VA. I said, I'm a VA now. If you or anybody needs help with their small business, let me know. And I didn't even know what I was going to do for them, but I was like, just let me know. But that worked. I got my first 3 clients from that. Yeah. People was like, all right, she sounds like she knows what she's talking about. I was like, so what you need me to do? What do you need? But yeah.
Like but basically you just took a leap of faith. Yeah. You just took a leap of faith. You're like, you know what? It's like, you just got to put a step forward, make that step forward, because if you don't, then you'll never do it. And then knowing that you didn't really know what you were doing, you were like, I'm going to do this anyways. Yes. And I love I love how you did that, because
you're bold.
You were bold enough to do that, because a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people just stay back, and I just love how you did that, and look at where you are now.
Yes, I think I'm a little crazy. I always tell people entrepreneurs have to be crazy, because I've worked some interesting jobs and people have paid me knowing I can't see. I've been a cleaner, can't see the dirt. I have been a wedding photographer. I've been a makeup artist. Like, people have hired me. I'm a good talker, y'all. I can do it.
I was going to say, you bet on yourself. It's only 20 minutes in, and I know you're confident, and you wear all hats. Like, I love that about you.
I was like, I would say I'll figure it out on the end. Like, if people, need me to do something, I will figure out a way to do it. Because people are like, how did you get that done? It got done. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I worked all kind of jobs. I was like, I always thought that was funny. Like, how did I end up cleaning? I cannot see. I just took that mop. I was like, all right, we just gonna keep moving. Try to dust something. I don't know.
But you know what? When I think about it, you did the job the best that you could, and that's what's important. That's wonderful. As you being you said that you are a mother, and you were there in the time that as you started to get more blind and it started to progress. How was it raising your son? Because I know that can be hard, being a mother and trying to raise a child.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. He was my boyfriend back then, but my husband, I had him, so that was great. But there were definitely challenges. My family had to really help my son understand, like, you can't leave toys on the floor, because I would, trip over things. We also had a husky for a little while, and we realized, like, that can't work. I cannot see enough. I was tripping over the dog. Like, he was tearing me up. So, we've had to adjust over the years, but my son is very knowledgeable that I have challenges. I'm not gonna say limitations, because I don't think anything's gonna limit me, but I do think they are challenges. And so he's aware of that. my family knows like there, and because of my condition too, and I didn't really say it fluctuates. So I can be able to see good today, and then a week from now, not even be able to see people's faces because it's just a chronic condition that flares. And so, we try to keep communication open, even when he was young, to say, hey, mommy can't see this, you got to help mommy out. And we just are a great team. So like I said, it was a village, but keeping that communication open, telling him honestly, what's going on. Sometimes he's a little extra. He's like, my mom can't see. And I'm like, calm down. It's not that serious. But sometimes, I do need help. And I'll be like, hey, like if a glass breaks, can you look and see? Is there any more glass on the floor? Don't touch it. Just tell me, stuff like that. Yeah. And now he's awesome. He's a rock star. He's 11. So he's as big as me now. He's super tall. So he's a great helper. Yeah, he's a great helper. And we do this together. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Well, sorry to cut you off.
No,
I know you mentioned your husband. Let's put some respect on the title. Yeah. Your husband. How was being married, like, for any couples out there struggling with being legally blind and might not have a spouse with the same condition? How was that, or what could you say about that?
Look, he might see this, but I'm gonna be honest, that was probably and is probably still the hardest part. Because again, my vision fluctuates. It's hard because he doesn't know what my eyes are going to be like from day to day. And he works. He's a full-time worker. He's a provider. And there have been times when he just doesn't understand. My condition can cause pain. And so I'll have migraines, or I will have, like when I had surgery, I was like, I can't see anything. And he's like, okay, well, I work. Who's going to help you? And, we have to kind of figure it out as we go. I think that for any couple who has someone that is differently able that they're dealing with, I think the best advice I could give you is just kind of be open to listening and not making assumptions. I feel like most of us are not lazy, but there are times when we may have things happening to our bodies that you can't see. And I think that that's something that I've had to express, like, hey, it hurts, because my eye condition is only part of it. It actually affects my whole body. And so, it may hurt. And I'm like, well, I'm not being lazy. The laundry didn't get done because I'm in pain and I needed to lay down. And just being honest. And it's okay. Like, there are going to be days where your spouse is going to be upset because they've worked all day and they're going to come home and you're going to be on the couch and they're going to be like, and you just got to give each other grace because you're human and you're going to feel human emotions. And we're not always perfect. We still have discussions every day. I'm like, dude, if you ask me to sweep this floor one more time, I can't see. And it gets like that sometimes. But we've been together for now like 11 years, so he gets that I have this condition, and he kind of rolls with the punches. But I am aware that, like I said, he's not in my body. He can't see it, and sometimes I have to send him like text messages. I'm like, having a bad day. Give him a little warning before he gets home, because sometimes when you have a chronic condition, you get upset, right? Like, you go through the initial stages of grief, but then things come up and you get frustrated, like, dang, why is this happening today? This task was really hard for me. Like, oh, I'm mad. And then they get home and they might say one thing to you and you're just like, rawr to them. And so I've learned to just kind of send him a message sometimes, like, I'm upset, or, hey, bring me ice cream tonight. And he knows ice cream or like carbs. He's like, oh, she's upset.
That is so great.
And you're not a traditional woman. Like, you have so many things on your plate on top of, having a bad migraine. So that's amazing. Like, I applaud you so hard. And I can't imagine. I'm not doing the laundry and I have no disability and my business hasn't been running. I have no.
Some days that's real too. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
And it's okay. It's okay that we don't feel like doing it, because you're not feeling well. No one is expected to do something. I mean, I know some people do it while they're sick, but you're just having a bad day, and it's okay to be able to sit back and be like, hey, I can't do it today.
Yeah, I give myself an allowance. I call them pity parties, where sometimes life just gets really hard, and I will allow myself a certain amount of time to be sad for myself. Right. Yeah. And I throw myself a pity party. Sometimes I'll even tell my husband, like, hey, I'm about to have a pity party. He probably thinks I'm crazy, but if I need to cry, if I need to be upset, if I need to scream, because I'm telling you, things come up. Now I've learned to be resourceful and to kind of figure out how to do workarounds. But sometimes initially a new task will come my way and I won't know how to do it, and I will be frustrated, like, or you know, maybe I did something. Like I remember the first time I made a website, I was about in tears because the website platform wouldn't expand and none of my apps would work, and so I was just like, I cannot see this, and I just, you know, sometimes you just gotta have a nice little cry, get that out. And so I said, hey, I was like, hey, I'm gonna give myself 24 hours. I'm gonna cry this out, and then tomorrow I'm gonna rock it out. Like that's just how it's gonna be, and that's what I do.
I love that mentality. I think that is so right what you say, because we need the, you know, when we hold so much in because life is hard, you know, we get frustrated, and then, you know, we have those days, like you said, and some those days we need to have those days so we can recover and be like, you know what, this is another day. I'm going to rock out the next day, you know?
You have to, because if not, you'll just get bogged down by the emotions. Because even if you don't have a disability, sometimes you just have a really bad day. And sometimes it's okay to feel bad, like feel upset. Like, I don't think anyone should constantly be trying to make themselves not feel the feelings. Like some days you're sad, some days you're hurt, some days you're disappointed, some days you're mad, you're angry. Okay, be there. Feel those feelings and then decide that you're going to have a better day. Even this week, I had a rough day, and I said to my mentors, I said, all right, tomorrow I'm going to have a really great day. I'm going to have a great day. And I did. I rocked it out, made some sales, got some work done. And I was like, all right, cool. We're back on track. Like, we're good now.
That is great. That is great.
That is rocking it.
Yeah. So besides, you know, when I had asked you about your son, is there any other obstacles in your life that you can give like an example to anyone that, you know, that has this same familiar condition as you, or any obstacle that you felt that you couldn't overcome at that moment?
Yeah, so I'm still dealing with one obstacle that I'm still figuring out. And that's solo traveling. I was inspired. I like TikTok, and I went on TikTok, and there was a girl who was in blind school, and she was like, they went to Disney and she traveled alone. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I don't know if I can travel alone. I was like, well, I'm gonna do it. Y'all, I had my assistant book the flight. I had her set up like aid to like get me from point A to point B. I live in Virginia. I was trying to get to Chicago. On the way there was not too bad. You know, I was like, all right, I was a little nervous. Heart was palpitating because I was like, I cannot, you know, I couldn't see the signs, but it was okay. Now, we didn't think about the fact that I was going to have to get from the hotel to the airport, check my bags, get to the plane, and then I had a layover in New York. When I tell you, the Uber dropped me off and was like, oh, it's over there. He hit the face, like, it's over there.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Yes. Some guy checked my bag, but then charged me to do it. And then somebody else charged me to walk me to my gate. And yes, I paid to walk in my gate, and then I got on the plane. Something was wrong with the plane, so they had to get us off. And so it was just a mess because I couldn't, like, I was just so confused. Then when I got to good old New York, was it LaGuardia Airport? It's big. They lost me. They put me at a gate. The gate changed. I was like, where am I supposed to be? My sister's like, hey, you know, how you doing? I was like, something's up. She was like, she checked in and was like, oh, it looks like your gate changed. I was like, there's nobody here. Like, I don't know how to get to the next one. And so then she had to do something. Somebody came, they moved me. But then I realized I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I was like, I have to use the bathroom. And so literally I got up, I found the bathroom. And the thing, and I'm just going to do a little caveat here. If you see blind people, remember we can hear, because I went to the bathroom because I remembered like where it was. And when I tried to go, I almost went like to the men's bathroom, and I kind of corrected myself. This lady looked at her daughter and was like, oh, she's doing such a good job. I was like, really? Like, really? Like, today is not the day, ma'am. But I just kept going. Then I went to try to get food. And so I can see some. So I saw the name of the restaurant. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna, because I couldn't go far because I couldn't remember how to get back. So this was like the only restaurant that I was gonna be able to walk to in the airport. So I looked at my phone. I have apps on my phone, and I Googled that restaurant so that I could see the menu because I couldn't see it on the board. And I was like, okay, people are rushing, you know, they have flights. I need to hurry up. So I figured out what I wanted. I get up there, and she's like, we don't have that. We don't have that. We only got what's on the board. I was like, well, ma'am, I can't see. I ended up getting some sandwich that I never would eat. It was just disgusting because I was like, well, whatever, you just give me something. Yeah. And then I was like, can I get a drink? And she was like, she tried to tell me drinks, and I was like, okay, I don't drink that. But just, I ended up with a cold coffee and a cold sandwich with like tomatoes. It was disgusting. And by the time I got home, guys, I just cried. I just cried.
I believe it.
It was awful. And I still would like to try again. Now I've learned some things that will help me, but I tell you what, it was hard. It's hard because in order for you to find ways to get around your disability or your differences, you got to try things, and some things aren't going to work. Like that was my first time. I made it back, so I guess it wasn't a fail, but it definitely wasn't like a 5-star success. But hopefully one day I'll be able to come back up here and be like, guess what? I went to, wherever by myself.
Yeah.
But it's still a challenge that I'm dealing with. And I think it's okay to say that we're still in progress.
Yeah. And I can imagine at the moment how frustrated, and it could be annoying, like, especially when you mention like, oh, somebody was charging me for this, or just to even walk you to your gate, they were charging you for that. Like there's, I don't understand people. I mean, we can't control other people, who they are and what they do, but could have at least been nice. Why pay somebody just to walk you somewhere? That's just ridiculous. It's just, I cannot.
Yeah, and there were some nice people. Everybody wasn't bad. There were some nice people. Some people willed me around between different things because for some reason, if you're legally blind, they want to wheel you in wheelchairs, but whatever. But some people were super nice. And when I was in different destinations, so when I was in Chicago, people were really supportive and helpful in the hotel, all kind of things. So it wasn't a horrible experience. I think for me, it was just overwhelming because in that moment when I was sitting in the airport, like lost, hungry, having to use the bathroom, like I was literally holding back tears because like, who wants to be just crying in the middle of an airport? And so when I got home, like I said, I just kind of just let all those emotions out. I just cried a blizzard of tears, and I went to sleep for like 24 hours. I was just that mentally and physically exhausted. But like I said, now I've had time to like think about it and reflect, and I would try it again. I would just have to maybe have a shorter trip, less layover, and put some things in place to kind of make sure I felt safe. Maybe pack some food because I found out now you can take some food with you. So yeah, just better prepare. But that's just that's life. Being an adult, you try things. You're not going to be an expert. The first time you do anything.
Yeah, true indeed. So Cori, with everything that you've overcome and everything that you're doing now in your life, who motivates you, inspires you to keep pushing?
That would definitely have to be my son. I really want him, and really, my son is the main focus, but also just people in general. I want everybody to know that you can live life on your own terms, and you can do whatever your heart is set out to do. We all have gifts, right? Some of you may not have realized what your gift is. Some of you may not be acting on your gift, but everybody has a gift that makes them special. And my hope for anybody that I ever come in contact with, or people even that I don't, is that you find that thing and you go after it, because life is short and you need to be living a fulfilled life where you are doing the thing that brings you joy every day. And for my son, like he's a gifted kid. Look, if you're in the education space, you know what that means. It sounds cute, but there's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, he's a gifted kid. And so I know he has his own set of challenges. But for me as a mom, I'm constantly expressing to him how amazing those differences make him and the capabilities of those differences. I was like, dude, you are capable of some real cool stuff. Now, yes, we still have to be, and everybody, we have to be realistic. We all have weaknesses as well. well that we have to work on. But boy, those differences that we have set us apart in some amazing ways. And so that's what I aim to show him. And that's what motivates me every day, because if I lead by example, he'll have no excuse but to say like, hey, my mom did it, so I know I can do it. This knocked me down, but hey, my mom did work, went through worse, so I know I can overcome this. And so I do that every day. Just look at him and say, you know what? I'm going to show him like anything is possible.
Yeah. And you do.
I like that. I like that.
And you really do.
I like that.
And I'm sure you inspire him too. Trust me.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. I like him.
You'll keep him.
Yes, definitely.
Honestly, I have one question about your business. Mm-hmm. So the website is on the screen, but so let's say I am a small business owner. What exactly would I go to you for help with?
Yeah, that's a great question. I can help you with a lot. So our business helps people in two ways. We have our Done With You coaching. So for those of you that need to learn the whole idea of being an entrepreneur, you need to understand like who your target audience is, what products and services you want to sell, and then how to market and actually sell those products. We do that through our coaching programs. And then on the other side, for those of you who maybe have already started or have a little bit more to invest in done for you services, we also have our marketing side. So we build websites, logos, landing pages. We edit videos. We do social media management. Like now I know what we do, y'all. But yeah, we do all the things. We're a one-stop shop for small business owners. And because, like I said earlier in my story, I didn't have money when I first started. Our aim is to have the most affordable prices in the world to support you guys, because I never want people to have to choose between their passion and their rent. And so all of our packages and our products are made to be as affordable as possible to get you where you want to be so that you can live the life of your dreams.
Well, then I might have to come see you because the rent wins every time here. Rent wins every time.
That's amazing. Yeah. Can you also tell us where else we can also find you besides just on your website?
Yeah, so definitely first check out the website, because on the website we have a free 90-day visibility challenge there. Anybody can get it. You don't have to talk to me to get it. There's no anything involved, but it'll give you some 90 days of action items to do to bring engagement to your business. And it also gives you 8+ hours of free trainings from entrepreneurs all over the world. So definitely check that out. But outside of that, you can look up me, Cori Fonville Foster, or I Rock Marketable Business Solutions on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok. We're everywhere. We're everywhere out here in these streets. So definitely check us out. You can slide in my DM. We can have a conversation for sure. We reply. Me and my team are really great about making sure we get to everyone in a very timely manner. So I'm excited. If any of your people are listening, definitely hit me up and let's do business.
Awesome. I definitely love your energy. Yeah. Your story is amazing. I love how you just kept pushing despite the struggle, despite, being with your disability and just being, you're just a woman of many hats, which was mentioned probably many times throughout you speaking. But it is, I applaud you for what you continue to do and what you're doing for others and helping them grow their business as well.
Yes.
Thank you, for coming on and speaking your testimony. So we have a question we ask all our guest speakers. What makes you uncommon?
What makes me uncommon? Woo. You know what? I think the thing that makes me uncommon that I hear from everybody is this idea that I just refuse to give up. Life is going to keep lifing to me. There are gonna, even with my condition, they don't know how long I'll have sight. They don't know what the future holds for me. Even with business, I'm in a weird industry that is changing every single day. Social media is changing, marketing is changing. And so, even with that, I just know I'm not going to stop. Right. I'm not, no matter what happens. Now, I'm not calling out the universe. Don't get me, but I'm not going to stop because I know that there is something that I want on the other side. And I know that every day that I let things stop me is a day that I can't help somebody else. And so I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not. Yeah, you know, that's the truth for everybody. I always tell people that's the truth. Just like if you guys didn't have this podcast, people who needed to hear this story wouldn't hear it. So, you know, that's why I keep going. It's like, I need to be here in whatever capacity I can to support people who need what I have to offer. So that's what makes me uncommon is I'm unstoppable.
That is dope. That is so dope. That is so dope. I want to check out the audience.
See what they got going on. We got some really positive comments today.
Yes. Hi, Anissa. How you doing? Then we have Tyrone Ricks. He says 10 of life is tune in. And he also says hi. Hi, Tyrone. Hi, Tyrone. Then we have Joan Andrew Ramadan. This is a really great, encouraging. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Last but not least. What is it? Breon, I believe. He said he's kicking it with the queens. He definitely is.
I hope we didn't butcher your name. I apologize for that. So thank you again, Cori, for speaking on your story and just being the dope woman that you are. And like you said, you're unstoppable, and you definitely are unstoppable. Great. And thank you again for coming on here. Thank you for everyone for tuning in this evening. Yes. And I want to speak on our business proposal. If you or anyone is looking to grow your business, Uncommon Women here is here to help you grow your business. So you can email us at uncommonwomen.com.
Yes. Now,
I'm sorry about that. uncommonwomenpodcast@gmail.com. And again, if you or anyone is also looking to come on our platform and want to speak on your testimony, you can also come on the screen with our email there again. And make sure you check out Motivational Mondays with Tyra, our goal guru here.
Coming in on Mondays.
And again, make sure you tune in next Thursday for another powerful testimony. And everyone, stay uncommon. Bye.